Part 3. The hitchhiker gets in. I didn't move. I didn't dare move. The shape in the passenger seat was faint, like a trick of the eye, but it was there, white dress. Hair, like black ink, spilled down her shoulders. Head tilted, just enough to let me know she was watching. The air inside the cab had gone dead. No hum of the engine, no ticking from the dashboard. Not even the sound of the wind brushing the outer panels. Like the truck and the space it occupied had been cut out of the world and dropped into some place where time didn't move. And then she spoke again, no lips moving. Just that same whisper, curling around my brain like smoke. Take me home. My heart was hammering in my chest, loud enough I thought it might draw her in closer. I clenched the steering wheel with white knuckles and focused on one thing, starting the rig. I turned the key, nothing. Dead, not a click, not even a pulse from the dash. Take me home. Her voice grew louder, not angry, but pleading, insistent. A rising tide of sorrow and something colder, like grief warped into hunger. Then came the tapping. 1, 2, 3 fingers, soft and wet on the glass by my left shoulder. I turned, slow as molasses, and saw her face outside the driver's window, but she was still in the passenger seat. That's when I understood. This thing. It could be in 2 places at once. Or more. I bolted. Yanked open the door and stumbled out into the desert night. The stars overhead blurred as I sprinted toward the open land behind the way station, adrenaline drowning out the logic that told me I should have stayed in the truck. I didn't stop until I hit the edge of a dry ravine. My lungs burned. My skin felt like it had been brushed with ice. I turned around. The rig was empty, no lights, no glow from the dash. Just sitting there under the moonlight, silent as a tombstone. Then the headlights blinked on, both at once, and the horn let out a long, low groan that made every hair on my body stand up. The rig was calling me back. I stayed out there until dawn. I don't remember falling asleep, but when I woke up, I was curled against a sagebrush, and the sun was just peeking over the desert hills. My rig was still there. No signs of forced entry, no frost on the windows. But when I opened the driver's side door, I found a long, pale strand of hair coiled neatly on the passenger seat like a snake. I drove, didn't stop until I hit Las Vegas. Deadhead met me at a diner just off the strip. A dusty little place that served the strongest black coffee this side of a welding torch. He saw me walk in and didn't say a word, just pulled out a chair. I sat. He lit a cigarette with shaking hands. She got in, didn't she? I nodded. Didn't say much, I muttered. Just kept whispering, take me home. Deadhead stared into the distance. That's how it starts. She don't want to haunt you, Jack. She wants to ride with you. Long as you let her, she stays. She's got this way of slipping in, becoming part of your route. You'll start seeing her in mirrors, in the shadow of passing signs, on the shoulder of every empty road. I looked up. What happens if I ignore her? You can't. Not forever. She's marked your rig now. You ever see those trucks with weird symbols scratched under the trailer doors? Like someone carved them in with a nail? I froze. I'd seen one just like that 2 months back outside Amarillo. An old Freightliner with something that looked like an inverted triangle scratched into the steel. Driver was white as a ghost, refused to talk to anyone. Those symbols, Deadhead said, are wards. Protection. Not that they always work. That night, I slept in a cheap motel off the highway. Didn't matter, she came anyway, in the mirror above the sink, in the reflection of the TV screen when it was off. Once, I thought I saw her standing at the end of the hallway outside my room, her head tilted just like before, always watching. always waiting. "Take me home." Next morning, I woke up to find my rig already running. Keys still in my jeans pocket. The cab smelled like roses and mildew, and a new phrase had been scrawled into the inside of the windshield, in reverse, like it was meant to be read from outside. Almost there. Part 4. Ghost Miles. The farther I drove, the worse it got. It wasn't just her voice anymore. Now, it was songs on the radio skipping in and out of static. Voices speaking in languages I didn't understand. Road signs that changed after I passed them. Town names rearranged. Mile markers blinking wrong numbers. Once, I swear I saw a gas station I'd stopped at yesterday. Except, now it was boarded up and overgrown with cactus. No way it should have been there again. Not in the direction I was headed. The road had changed, or maybe I had. I called Deadhead from a payphone in Chloride, Arizona. Told him I needed answers, real ones, not warnings. He gave me a name. Reed Carlson, he said. Used to drive that route back in the 80s. Saw her, got away, moved off-grid, way out past Parker. Some say he's nuts. I say he's lucky. Reed lived in a mobile home at the edge of the Mojave, if you could call it living. The guy was maybe 60, but looked 80, skin leathered by sun and paranoia. He didn't let me inside, just stood in the doorway with a shotgun and a plastic rosary around his neck. "She picked you?" he asked. "Feels like it?" Reed looked past me, eyes scanning the horizon like she might be standing just beyond the nearest cactus. They say she was a girl killed hitchhiking. Wrong place, wrong time. But it's older than that. Older than the road. She's a passenger spirit. You know what that is? No. It's not a ghost, not really. It's a ride-along, a thing that attaches to travelers, people in motion, cars, trains, boats. Always the same, asks for a ride, then never leaves. And if you try to dump her off, he tapped the side of his head, she'll make a wreck of your brain before she lets go. Reed told me about a truck graveyard 2 counties over. Said she'd been seen there more than once, wandering between rusted-out semis, appearing in rearview mirrors that hadn't reflected anything in years. "If you want to know what she is," he said, "go there. But don't go alone." I went alone. The place was a sun-blasted stretch of sand and weeds, filled with the skeletons of rigs long forgotten. Most of them still bore logos of companies that didn't exist anymore. Trailers half-eaten by rust, tires melted into the dirt, hoods wide open like gaping mouths. I stepped inside one of the old cabs, a Peterbilt 379 with shattered glass and a family photo still pinned above the wheel. The air was heavy, like it didn't want me there. Then the CB crackled. "You're getting close." Her voice again, but different this time, not begging, not whispering, guiding. I opened the glove box. Inside was a notebook, weathered, the pages curling. A name was scrawled inside, E. Tanner. He'd been a long-haul trucker in the 70s. His notes told a story eerily like mine. A woman on the road, visions in the mirror, time warping. The same phrase over and over again. She never leaves. One page caught my eye. Found an old map, town marked in red, San Sombra. Doesn't exist anymore. Locals say it was wiped off the map in a flood back in '62, but she keeps saying it over and over. "Take me home." Could be that's where she's trying to go. Maybe if I take her, she'll stop. San Sombra, I'd never heard of it. But that was the first time I had a destination that made any kind of sense. Back at the rig, I tried to sleep. Didn't work. The moment I closed my eyes, I was back on Route 93. But it wasn't the real road. It was darker, covered in fog. The lane markings pulsed red. and up ahead, standing in the middle of the road, was her. She lifted her hand slowly, pointed to a crumpled green highway sign. It read, "Next exit, San Sombra." I woke up, gasping. The cab was full of fog, but only on the inside.